And just kind of quickly, the second half of what I wanted to talk about, and it's won't take up as much time as the first half, is the reason some mentors, like your grandfather's still hunting. My grandfather is still alive, 94 years old, and says he can still go squirrel hunting. And so, I really need to take him up on that.
Yeah.
We got a part of our lease that we need to take him over to, and just
100%.
There's a bunch of squirrels here, bud.
Yeah, from the
Fire
Rosewoods.
away. But that societal change that we talked about, again, it's not all on the mentor, but you got to be open to new ways. One of the things that I think has caused this gap between the two societies is I think with the advent of crossbows or hunting blinds, Primos has got a hunting blind that.
It's like a house.
It's like a see-through house, though. It's like you sit in it, you can see out, but nothing can see in.
It's pretty impressive.
And all of a sudden, you have to have one. You got to have one of these, or you're not hunting. You know what I mean? You got to have this new turkey load that just is a killer load. It's awesome stuff. I feel like on some level, though, it's been made too easy. It's been harvesting game now is kind of a given. You're going to go kill a deer. If you want to kill a deer, I honestly feel like we go kill a deer. We want just to kill a deer. We could.
So I talked about it earlier that hunting, I'm learning, is like a game of failure.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. That being said, this year I failed in the sense that I did not kill a deer. But I could have had my 2 does and my buck easily. I just wanted to kind of test the water to see, what if a bigger buck comes along? I fell into that trap this year. I did. And that's okay. I knew I knew what the risk reward was. It was, I paid this money for this lease. I could fill my freezer with my limit of deer, or I can see what steps out next. And I waited and waited and waited, and the season passed by, and that deer never came. I've told you what my intention is this year. First 3 deer I see, I don't care if he's a spike buck.
You're whacking and stacking.
He's dead.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm doing this year. So
we're on a lease. That's your prerogative,
right?
Your prerogative. Have at it.
So to your point, I'd never walked out on our lease this year and thought, man, maybe I won't be able to have a shot. I had a shot every time I went out.
Yeah.
And I just waited, and for various reasons, depending on the day. So I don't know what I'm trying to say there.
What I think is, and it kind of gets to my point of how easy that is, because not just me showing you, but the tools we have now, the gear we have, everything that we have, the cameras we have, it's easier. And I think there's some resentment from the older generation towards the new generation that you don't get it, And I told you a story earlier this morning. When I started hunting, again, at age 27, I had an Amaker steel tree stand. It was barely the size of my back. My feet barely fit on it. I had 12 screw-in steps in a pouch that I got at the Army surplus, and I knew if I do 12, that's as high as I want to be. I had a safety belt that was a belt that went around my waist, and it had a tether on it about that long.
You told me you guys kind of questioning why you would wear that.
Yeah.
People weren't used to wearing those.
People were like, what is that? I'm like, I'm putting this belt goes around the tree. So, I could only move that far, but I wasn't going to fall off.
Right.
But I did all that climbing, hung the stand, stood on the stand, and then in the dark, I knew which belt was to go around the tree, and I would do it, and I would put it around the tree. Okay? Going up those trees with my steps, just bust my knuckles all up. At the end of the season, my hands are just bloody scabs. And then that was just to hunt once.
Yeah.
And then when that hunt was over, 3 or 4 hours later, unscrew my bow hook, unscrew my bag hook, put the bag on my shoulders, take the stand down, unscrew them, put them in, and walk back to my truck. That was hunting to me. And it's nothing like that now.
Now you have these aluminum Lone Wolf stands that you can sit in all day.
We've got, several of them, and they're hanging out there.
Yeah.
So somewhere there's a disconnect. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. But there's a disconnect, and how do we get that back? How do we make the younger generation actually understand how difficult that was, or am I just being an old man now? And if that's not necessary, this is the way it is. And
that was going to be my question. Is that necessary, or would it be more attractive to new hunters if it kind of is that easy?